Treatment of sleep apnea with an oral appliance makes spending the night in a sleep lab unnecessary. In 1970, the first sleep clinic was established at Stanford University. In 1981, a researcher by the name of Colin Sullivan published the results of his treatment of obstructive sleep apnea in 5 patients with, quote, a pneumatic splint for the nasopharyngeal airway, end of quote, which later became known as the continuous positive airway pressure device, or CPAP. So fast forward to 2020. The CPAP device has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, and as a result, the once rare academic sleep lab in a university has been replaced by commercial sleep labs that have populated suburban neighborhoods in big cities across the country. But that could change. Here's why. What happens in the sleep lab? Well, you spend the night in a hotel-like room. A technician attaches a dozen or more sensors to your body, and you're invited to sleep while the technician monitors you in a separate room via a video camera and records data from the sensors simultaneously on his computer. That report is called a polysomnogram, and it measures the stages of sleep by brainwave analysis provided by the EEG that's attached to you. And it allows sleep disorder doctors to differentiate apneas that are not caused by airway obstruction, but by central nervous system irregularities, so-called central apneas. The standard for diagnosis requires a minimum of 4 hours of sleep data. With the assumption that the treatment will lead to a CPAP, your doctor may order that the lab use the remainder of the night with you attached to a CPAP machine to determine how much pressure is required to effectively manage your airway obstruction. This is called a split study, and insurance companies like the efficiency. Obstructive sleep apnea is only one of the many sleep disorders that can be measured with a witnessed polysomnogram. Insomnia, periodic limb movements, as well as sleep behavioral disorders such as night tremors and sleepwalking may be witnessed and recorded. But by definition, obstructive sleep apnea requires only a measurement of total sleep time, blood oxygen saturation, and a means of comparing your respiration efforts, your chest expansions, with actual air exchange, your breath sounds. In common terms, you need a clock, a microphone, and an oxygen sensor attached to your finger. Hence the development of simplified devices that allow sleep studies to be done without a technician in your home, the home sleep test. There have been competing varieties of home sleep tests, and the trend in development toward smaller and more portable devices. Design engineers have developed ingenious simulations that allow them to correlate limb movement, measured by those tiny microchipped accelerometers like you have in your cell phone, with sleep stages. It's a science called actigraphy. The result is a single point of contact on your finger, and it connects wirelessly with your smartphone and sends the data to the cloud for analysis. Did I mention there's no need to return the device? It's disposable. Which brings me back to my initial statement. The home sleep test is by far the most convenient, efficient, and economical means to diagnose and treat obstructive sleep apnea with an oral appliance. I'm Dr. Glen Bruenjes, and I've dedicated my practice to helping people like you achieve better quality of life by recognizing and treating obstructive sleep apnea with custom FDA-approved and Medicare-compliant dental sleep appliances.